Have you seen this lure? It's the Trout Magnet. It's one of the hottest new trout lures on the market. Over the past several years, we've caught thousands of trout from New York to Colorado to Arkansas to North Carolina and every type of stream that you could imagine. We've proven time and time again, no bait or lure will outfish the Trout Magnet. This video is to prove to you that very same thing. The Trout Magnet, the secret's out. One of the most commonly asked questions we have is, why does the Trout Magnet work? We feel the Trout Magnet works because it falls flat in the water. It's one of the only trout lures to do that. As the Trout Magnet comes through the water, it falls in a flat motion instead of head weight like most jigs do. Most jigs, as they come through the water, the head weighs more than the tail, so it comes through like this, and you have to constantly be lifting it up. The Trout Magnet falls flat. The in fisherman says the reason it falls flat is because of the head. We feel it's because of the head and the tail, which allows the Trout Magnet to fall flat. So when you twitch the rod tip and gives that unique action, that's what drives trout crazy. One of America's top trout lures right now is the Trout Magnet. And it's a lure that we came up with several years ago, and we're here today to show you how you can catch trout and catch more trout than you ever have in your life.
We're here on Big Creek in Arkansas trying to catch a few fish, and hopefully we can show you how to use this bait and be effective with it.
One of the biggest questions we have is how to use this lure. It looks like a regular jig, but it's designed differently than most jigs on the market. And because it's like that, it's harder to use. So we're going to try to teach you exactly how to use the Trout Magnet. The first thing you have to have is the right equipment. You can have the greatest lure bait in the world, and if you have the wrong equipment, you're not going to catch anything. So you have to have the right equipment. The first thing you have to have is the right line. 2 to 4 pound test is essential. We fish with 2 almost all the time, and with the drag step properly, even a big fish won't break it. We use light rods, 5 to 6 feet, with a good backbone so you can twitch the rod as you bring it through the water. And a small reel also is important. Light tackle is very, very important when you're fishing for trout.
Yeah. The second key is locating fish. You know, you go to a stream, a lot of people I see fish dead water. You want to look for little eddies, little shoals, little deep pockets in the stream where fish might lay. And they usually hold up in the same spot year after year, no matter if they're stock trout, native trout, or whatever they might be. You know, if you find a pocket that has fish today, you can probably come back the next week and catch more.
I guarantee you, they're always in the same place. The third thing you got to remember is, in using the Trout Magnet, you've got to work the rod tip differently than you do other lures. When you bring it through the water, you locate them, you flip it out in there, and you work the rod tip. And as you work the rod tip, you're constantly reeling to take the slack out of your line. And you work the rod tip, twitching it almost instead of jigging it. You're twitching the rod tip, which makes the lure hop all over itself and gives it a really unique action, which drives trout crazy.
Right. You know, and with twitching that rod tip, depending on where you're at or what you're doing, usually 99% of the time we like fishing downstream. So if we'd be fishing this creek right here, we would cast a quarter cast downstream, let it swing into the hole in the little eddy, and just twitch your rod tip. On certain occasions, depending on water depth, if it's higher water, quicker moving, we put a split shot on with it. We throw it maybe straight across from us, maybe up just a little bit to let the lure get down to where the fish are at. But if you can stay above the fish and present this bait the right way, you're going to increase your amount of fish.
One thing that's really important too with this lure, this is a single hook, and it's good for catch and release areas. Follow the barb down and you can fish in areas with this lure and catch a lot of trout. But you have to set the hook very hard. 99% of the fish you're going to catch are going to be in the roof of the mouth because the hook is always up. When you feel that hit or when you see that trout take it, pop the hook in the roof of the mouth. A lot of times people don't do that, and the fish will spit it. But if you do all those things, get the right equipment, find the fish, work the rod tip, get where you can present it properly and then set the hook, you're going to catch a lot of trout on the trout magnet. Now Shane, Rob, and Chad are going to show us how not to use the trout magnet.
Where's the trout at?
I got mine.
Oh, buddy.
Leyland Lures.
Here
That's
comes
what I
the
brought.
fish.
Leyland Lures.
Leyland's lures.
Let's
All
call
right.
this trout out. Hey, trout, come here.
Fishy.
Woo.
Hey there, Tubby.
Yep.
What kind of test you using on that line right here?
I got a 10-pound test.
Stop. Never use 10-pound test. In fact, never go over 4, and we prefer 2.
Cast very far.
We're gonna get out that Leyland lure, like I already said. I'm gonna cast out into the ripply water, some of that fast-moving stuff. See if I can get me one of them trout. All right, lure. Go to work. Hoo-wah. All right, reel it in. That's pretty.
Are you catching
Hurry.
anything, Shane?
Come on, fishy. Come on, fishy. Where are they at? This ain't working. Come on. Oh, man. This is stupid. Fishing's dumb.
Stop. Never fish whitewater. Fish the edges of whitewater, or at the end of whitewater, fish the deep pockets where the fish lay.
I don't even know how to work this thing.
Ah,
Are you catching anything, Rob?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try and get jiggy with it here.
all right.
Jig it,
Got
get
it, jig.
Get it.
You got it.
Woo!
Jig it.
Yeah.
Jig up.
Get on it.
I'm not.
Oh,
Easy.
get it now. Jig it.
Didn't
Get the fish on it.
Hey, stupid fish.
Stop. Never jig the trout magnet like a normal jig. You twitch the rod tip. You don't jig it.
I'm not catching nothing.
Fishing's dumb.
I reckon it is time to get upstream a little ways.
Yeah, let's go on up.
Come on.
Do it.
That was awesome. Hey guys, thanks. Nice try. Let me show you how it's really done.
Hey, mister! Did you catch a trout? Whoa!
He got a damn trout.
Nice. Pretty trout.
Can you show us how to do that? I can send you a video.
As you can see, the trout magnet comes in many different colors. Fishing for trout, there's 2 things you have to remember. First of all, size is important. The trout magnet is a perfect size for trout fishing. The second is the color. With the trout magnet, you can go from one color to the other just by simply removing the body and putting another body on. You can go from white, which represents a minnow, to a brown, which represents a little worm, or a red, which represents a red worm, or other colors that the fish might like. It makes it a lot easier than changing an entire lure. First day fishing for trout, how'd you do?
Well, I did all right. Got me my first rainbow trout right here. Not a bad size. I'm happy about it.
What do you think of that trout magnet?
Trout magnet worked for me.
After hundreds of days in the stream, we have proven that no bait or lure works quite like the trout magnet. We hope this video will convince you to give it a try and see how well it really works.